The fluorescent lights of King Enterprises Tower buzzed softly as midnight approached. Mark Turner, a 34-year-old janitor and single father, pushed his mop across the marble floor, humming softly to keep himself awake. His shift stretched long into the night, but the pay barely covered his 9-year-old daughter, Lily's school and medication. Still, he smiled through exhaustion. "Hey, Mark," came a sharp voice. It was Mr. Dalton, the floor manager, his suit crisp and eyes cold. "CEO wants you on the 50th floor. Now." Mark frowned. The 50th floor was sacred ground, reserved for top executives and the infamous CEO. Veronica King. Everyone knew she was beautiful, powerful, and ruthless. No one crossed her. When the elevator doors opened, Mark stepped into a world of glass walls, city lights, and silence. Veronica stood by the window, her tailored black suit reflecting the moonlight, her expression unreadable. "Mr. Turner," she said smoothly, "do you know what happens to employees who keep secrets?" I don't understand, ma'am," he stammered. She turned sharply. "I saw the security footage. You were cleaning near my office when my ex-husband visited. You heard something, didn't you?" Mark's mind raced. He had overheard an argument, but he didn't think much of it. "I swear, I didn't." She cut him off. "Good. Because if word gets out about that meeting, your job, your daughter's medical coverage, gone." He swallowed hard. "I'll stay quiet." Her eyes narrowed. "I hope so. Because starting tomorrow, you'll be working directly under me." He nodded, confused but compliant. As he left, Veronica stared after him, her jaw tight. She needed him for something she hadn't yet revealed. The next morning, Mark reported to Veronica's private office. Her secretary eyed him suspiciously. Janitors weren't supposed to be here. Veronica gestured for him to sit. "I need a favor, Mr. Turner. One that could change both our lives." Mark shifted nervously. "A favor?" She folded her arms. "The press discovered my ex-husband's plan to sue me for defamation. To protect the company. My lawyers are crafting a public narrative that I've moved on. That I'm happily married." Mark blinked. "What does that have to do with me?" Veronica's lips curved into an ironic smile. "Everything. You're going to be my husband." He froze. "What?" "Just pretend. For 2 weeks. Public appearances, photos, a gala. You'll be compensated, handsomely." "I can't do that," he whispered. "I'm just a janitor." "Then pack your things," she said icily. "Your contract ends today." Mark clenched his fists. Lily's hospital bills haunted his mind. He looked up, meeting Veronica's piercing gaze. "When do we start?" he muttered. Veronica smirked. "Now." Veronica's plan unfolded quickly. She introduced Mark to her team as her husband. A private entrepreneur. His janitor uniform was replaced by tailored suits. But beneath the polished image, Mark felt like an imposter. At a charity dinner, reporters swarmed them. Veronica looped her arm around his, whispering, "Smile." Mark forced a grin. Flashbulbs went off. "You two make a stunning couple," one journalist said. Veronica laughed gracefully. "He's my rock," she replied, glancing up at Mark. Her hand trembled slightly. The first crack in her perfect armor. Later, in her limo, she exhaled. "You did well tonight." Mark stared out the window. "You're used to lying." Her eyes flicked toward him. In business, survival is lying. But when she noticed his worn hands and tired eyes, something in her softened. "Why did you take this job, really?" "For Lily," he said quietly. "She's sick. Needs treatment I can't afford." Veronica turned away, hiding her expression. For the first time, her heart felt heavy with guilt. Days turned into nights of press conferences and photo ops. Mark learned to smile on cue. To hold her hand for the cameras. To endure whispers from employees who mocked his background. Yet behind closed doors, the icy CEO began to thaw. Veronica found herself watching Mark as he spoke kindly to staff or laughed over calls with Lily. One evening, she asked, "Your wife? What happened to her?" "She died when Lily was 3, he said softly. "Car accident." Veronica's voice dropped. "I'm sorry." He nodded. "Don't be." She'd want me to keep going. Something shifted between them. The tension wasn't fake anymore. When Veronica brushed his arm by accident, both froze, the air thick with something unspoken. But outside her glass office, someone was watching. Her ex-husband. Victor Kane, Veronica's ex, was ruthless. He appeared at her next board meeting, smiling venomously. "Quite the husband you've got," he said mockingly. "Does he know you're lying to the world?" Veronica's jaw clenched. "Leave my personal life out of this." But later that night, Victor cornered Mark in the parking lot. "You think she cares about you?" He sneered. "You're just her pawn. When she's done, she'll toss you back where she found you." Mark glared. "You don't scare me." "Oh. Then maybe your daughter will." Victor smiled coldly. "Nice little girl. Shame if someone." Mark lunged, grabbing his collar. "Stay away from her." The next day, Veronica found Mark bruised and shaken. When he told her what happened, she froze. "He threatened Lily." Mark nodded. Her voice hardened. "Then he's just declared war." News broke the next morning. Veronica King's marriage scandal, husband caught in a lie. Victor had leaked everything, Mark's true identity. His job, their fake relationship. The board demanded Veronica resign. She stood silent as cameras flashed, reporters shouting accusations. That night, she found Mark packing his few belongings in her penthouse guest room. "I ruined your life," she said quietly. He shook his head. "You didn't. You gave Lily a chance." Tears welled in her eyes. "Mark, I never meant to hurt you." He smiled faintly. "You didn't. You just made me remember what it feels like to matter." As he walked away, her chest ached, a pain she couldn't explain. Veronica disappeared for days. When she resurfaced, she stood before the press. Not as the CEO, but as a woman owning her truth. "Yes," she said firmly. "Mark Turner was a janitor. But he is also the most decent man I've ever met. I lied, but not about one thing, the respect and care I feel for him." The room went silent. Later that evening, she drove to the small hospital where Lily was being treated. Mark looked up in shock as she entered. "I paid for her full treatment," Veronica said. "No conditions. No lies." He stared, speechless. She smiled sadly. "I wanted to help because you helped me become human again." Months later, Lily's laughter filled their small apartment. She was healthy again. A knock came at the door. Veronica stood there, no makeup, no designer suit. Just a woman holding 2 cups of coffee. "Thought I'd visit an old friend," she said softly. Mark grinned. "You mean your ex-fake husband?" She laughed, genuinely this time. They sat together as the sun dipped below the skyline. "You once said pretending was survival," Mark said quietly. "But what if we stopped pretending?" Veronica looked at him, not as a CEO, but as a woman who'd finally found home. "Then," she whispered, "I'd say, I'm already your wife." And for the first time, it wasn't a lie.